Welcome back to normal baseball. The Texas Rangers have won the 2023 World Series. I guess technically not yet. There's currently two outs in the bottom of the ninth inning of Game 5. The Rangers are up 3-1. Um, I'm Alex. That's Lewis. This is kind of our live reaction to the end of the game. The game's about to end. And oh my God, what a game. What a series. Only a 5-game series, but to be honest, didn't feel like that. Didn't feel like that at all. And then this game 5 has been probably one of the craziest games I've seen in a long time, to be quite honest with you.
Oh yeah, for
What,
sure.
what have you
This
thought?
this series has definitely felt like it's been more than 5 games. Both teams have really fought for it, and although Texas has come out on top 3 out of the 4 times so far, and it's looking like they're about to win the series, definitely feels like the Diamondbacks put up a great fight, and I'm very happy to say that this was a fun and entertaining World Series.
Yeah, I mean, this game kind of had everything. Zach Gallen, Nathan Eovaldi kind of had a pitcher's duel. They did it in two completely different ways. Zach Gallen, went six no-hit innings. And then Nathan Eovaldi, he also went 6 innings. But his 6 innings were a little more pressure filled. Um, and I believe that does it, right?
There it is. Strike three
Strike
on an
three.
85-mile-an-hour curveball, and the Texas Rangers, for the first time
Have
in
won the
franchise
World Series.
history, have won a World Series. It's time to
Wow. I
celebrate.
mean, absolutely incredible. This team, this series was amazing as Spores closes out the game, strikes out Ketel Marte, and the Rangers have officially won the World Series in 5 games with the final score of 5-0. Corey Seager, number 5, celebrating. And the 2023 MLB season is officially over.
Wow.
Wow. I mean, what a dominant showing from the Rangers in this, series, obviously winning in 5 games. But again, to me, it really didn't feel like 5. If we want to recap game 5 just a little bit, obviously it just ended. I mean, the Rangers are on top of the world right now. Game 5, again, was domination through 6 innings from both of these pitchers. And then in the seventh inning, the Rangers 3 straight hits off Zach Gallen scored a run, and it was 1-0. But it felt like it might as well have been 100-0 at that point. The Diamondbacks just could not get it done with runners in scoring position. The Diamondbacks went 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position in Game 5, which is just you can't do that. And the Rangers absolutely clinched the game in that top of the ninth inning when they scored 4 runs off Paul Sewald, the guy who has looked, unhittable throughout the playoffs, and in this World Series just absolutely imploded when it mattered the most. And the Rangers are the world champions. This is again undefeated on the road this postseason. I think it's 11-0 on the road
11
this
and 0.
postseason.
Yep.
They dominated their whole way to this postseason. They dominated their whole way to this World Series.
And they also fought through some very difficult times. I mean, losing your ALCS MVP in Adolis Garcia really hurt. Not getting the most out of what we know Max Scherzer can be, especially in the postseason, really hurt. And guess what? They were still able to push through all of it. Even during the regular season, if you want to go back, they lost Jacob DeGrom, who
Yeah,
even to
early too.
yeah, even in this year of 2023, going into the season, I believe we both had Jacob DeGrom as like a dark horse to win a Cy Young because he's just that good when he's on the mound. And through all of it, they make some key trades at the deadline and getting Jordan Montgomery, who really shoved throughout the entire postseason. They sign Andrew Heaney, going back even a couple of years. They spent $500 million on Corey Seager and Marcus Simeon. And guess what? To raise the World Series trophy, it makes that all worth it. So congratulations to the Texas
Yeah,
Rangers.
yeah. And I mean, who would have thought? Andrew Heaney, once they signed him, would be pitching Game 4, and was one of the
Five.
main reasons they won Game 4 of that World Series. I mean, just obviously incredible from this Rangers team. The way built up to become a powerhouse. Just a couple seasons ago, they lost 100 games. They got, Seager and Semien and still struggled. But then they bring in a veteran manager like Bruce Bochy, a veteran manager in Bruce Bochy, and that a couple other acquisitions, like you said, with the pitching, and they get it done. They did it the right way. They had some homegrown talent, they had some international guys, they had some big name free agents, they had a veteran manager, just all the right pieces for a World Series team, and that they did it. They did it.
Yeah, that they did it. Uh,
Like you said,
Blown away.
first World Series in their history. They've been one strike away from a World Series
Twice.
win multiple times,
Yeah,
and haven't been able to get it done. And now they finally do. A guy they're showing right now, Marcus Semien, absolutely turned it on in this World Series. He was quiet throughout the entire postseason for this Rangers team. And then in this World Series, he went 7 for 24 with 2 homers and 8 runs batted in. Absolutely incredible turnaround from him. Obviously, you got Corey Seager, who will probably win World Series MVP if we had to guess. Maybe,
I would hope so.
yeah, I would guess. We'll find out in a couple minutes, I assume.
It's
But
him or
yeah,
Travis
going back,
Jankowski. So
yeah, yeah, I think it'll be Seager. Going back to this game five though, it was a 1-0 game, and that Paul Sewald explosion, mostly had to do with Alec Thomas. A single by Jonah Heim into center field. Ball rolls under Alec Thomas's glove, turns into 2 more runs, and after that, it just felt like there was a 0% chance that the Diamondbacks were going to win that game. And the Rangers are the World Series champions now.
yeah, it's
I'm very
unbelievable.
I believe a team hasn't won a World Series at home in however many years. When was the last time a team won a World Series at home?
Last year, the Astros.
Oh, you're right. You're
Yeah, I
right.
know. I'm right. And
I forgot about that.
just to keep commenting about the postseason in general, and not just this year's World Series, but we have gotten in the last 10 years. You look back, the Cubs break their 108-year curse. The Dodgers just constantly felt like kept making it really deep. They made it back to back times, but the team of destiny Boston Red Sox win. Nationals get their first ring. Braves get their first ring in decades. Now the Rangers get their first ring in franchise history. Baseball is in a great state right now, and if this doesn't show you, to anyone who's not a baseball fan like me, or anyone else watching or listening, to show this to someone on the outside just shows how great baseball is and how much of a healthy state it's in. You know?
Yeah, I mean, this was an incredible series. It's really a shame that it didn't get the recognition that it really deserved. Um, obviously there was so much talk about the low numbers in viewership throughout this series.
Wah. Who cares? This series was great.
Well, no. It matters in terms of the sport growing. We're not going to pretend that it's okay if not as many people as well. We're not going to pretend that it's okay that there's not as many people watching as there should have been. Obviously, we know why. Two underdog-ish teams, not big markets, making it at the same time isn't going to draw that many fans. But, I think this series exceeded expectations. And I think I said it before the series, I picked Rangers in 6, but I said I could see them dominating the series and doing it in 5. And, after that game 2 where they, got blown out, they did dominate the last 3 games in Texas. I mean, they just didn't lose on the road at all. They could not lose on the road. Their 11-0 record on the road this postseason, the most wins on the road by any team ever in the postseason. So
yeah, an MLB record
congrats
is
to the Rangers.
something.
Congrats to the Rangers. I don't know
Totally.
if I said that either.
And just to flip it to the other side of the coin, I mean, the Diamondbacks, one hell of a run. You make it to the World Series for a reason, and that's because you're the best team in your league. And guess what? When the postseason rolled around, they were the best team. They swept the Diamondbacks. They beat out the Phillies in 7 games, and I think that genuinely, if the ball rolls a little bit differently, few times you're talking about this. Right now we're talking about how this series might go 7. Like there's a world where no, I'm so serious. So that this that's how close the games were. One strike that was called a ball, or one fly ball that might have been dropped or could have gotten down if not for some amazing plays throughout the entire series, then you're talking about a completely different series. That's how close these games felt. Even though in Game 4 the Diamondbacks lost 11-7, the Diamondbacks were still able to put up runs. Like, yes, they were kind of meaningless at that point, but I'm just trying to say that that's how close the series felt. I'm not saying, oh my God, the Snakes should have won the series. No, the Rangers won, and for good reason.
I don't know.
Just feels like the series was very close, and I was very happy with it, although it's short.
The last 2 games of the series kind of felt like it was wraps. I mean, yes, the Diamondbacks. Yes, even in this Game 5, yes, it was close. It was 0-0 going into the 7th. So, of course, you're saying it's anyone's game at that point. But if you're the Diamondbacks, you can't be going 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position in the first 6 innings against the starting pitcher, all against the same pitcher.
Who
the guy
struggled.
Nathan Eovaldi was laboring. He could not get ahead in the count. He was walking a lot of guys, which is very un-Nate Eovaldi-like. He walked 5 batters in this game, which is just something you don't see from Nate Eovaldi, and they just couldn't take advantage of it. They could not hit with runners in scoring position, which sucks. But again, if you're talking Diamondbacks and you're just talking outlook for this whole series, they did put together a pretty good performance, I think, in terms of how these two teams matched up. They were the underdogs in this series, regardless of if they're both underdogs. They were definitely more of the underdog in this series, and I think they're not done. Next year they have everything to look forward to. They're not really losing any guys, which is nice. So, if you're a Diamondbacks fan, you're just looking up to next year and you're excited for next year because it's going to be the same team and more of the same stuff. So,
yeah,
that's just looking at it for the Diamondbacks perspective.
For sure. And we saw it. Hang on, I want to pull it. Bryson Stott. Here we go. So I just want to pull it up. To get a rookie having the experience of playing in a World Series and making a deep postseason run, it feels like it makes them better. And Corbin Carroll just got that experience. Gabriel Moreno just got that experience. And the proof is Bryson Stott, who this season in 2023 was a 280 hitter, felt like he played a great second base. Like, just getting the experience of playing on the biggest stage in baseball is really important to these guys, and I have no doubt in my mind that eventually this core of Diamondbacks will be back, just how we felt about the Phillies last year, of that, hey, they might have lost, but look out for them for years to come.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what they could do in the next season. Last strike of the game was looking, Ketel Marte, come on. I understand what you're doing, but last out of the World Series, come on, go down swinging, man. Yeah. Go down with the fight. It was a close pitch too. I don't know. I think I would have just probably been swinging at most of the stuff. 2-2 count. You got to swing with 2 strikes down to the last out of your season.
I could not agree with you more. Just wow, man. The Arizona Diamondbacks lose to the Rangers. Wow.
Yeah, I do want to flip it back more to the Rangers. I don't really want to. I want to talk about the Diamondbacks, but we have all offseason to talk about what they did and the outlook for their team. I want to focus on the Rangers. Rangers first World Series in franchise history, first win, huge for them, obviously. And congratulations. So many guys on this team, I would argue, deserved it, and I do have to mention him. I have to. Travis Jankowski is now a World Series champion. Stony Brook alum is a World Series champ. That's amazing. And he actually made a significant impact. Game 4 of the World Series, the 2023 World Series, will always be remembered as the Travis Jankowski game.
Yeah.
So that's a big plus.
To be able to come off the bench and perform the way that he did for 2 games really shows just how much Texas wanted to win this series, and Travis Jankowski contributing in the way that he did. Of course, I cannot believe that Travis Jankowski is getting his own little segment right now, but shout out to him.
Yes, yes.
He deserves it. He played one hell of a game, and subbing in for Adolis Garcia, we questioned it. Will it come back to bite Texas in the ass that they are taking him off the postseason roster? But guess what?
But they had to.
Travis Jankowski steps up, and it sort of felt like there was no stops, no hiccups. That's just a bunch of guys 1 through 9 that are ready to go out there and play baseball, and guess what? They did it in the best way possible.
Yeah, I think, losing Adolis after game 2 was so big because at that time it really felt like the only guy in that Rangers lineup who was really performing aside from Adolis was Corey Seager. And it felt like, now they have one guy that they want to rely on to get these wins, to win World Series games. And suddenly Adolis goes down, and we see, Evan Carter. We see Marcus Semien, who was quiet for most of the postseason. We saw guys step up and play the way they needed to play in order to win the World Series. And I think, had this gone to a Game 7, maybe we would have been talking more about the impact of taking Adolis off the roster and even taking Max Scherzer off the roster after he got injured. If there was a Game 7, we probably would have seen Scherzer pitching it had he not gotten injured. So, if it did get to a Game 7, we would have been talking about all that. But, the Rangers just got it done. And that's what they did. And you talked about the rookie presence on the Diamondbacks. You could do the same thing with the Rangers. I mean, you want to talk about rookie experience. You talk about the Phillies last year winning the World Series. I mean, you talk about the Phillies last year losing the World Series and their rookies getting better. Talk about the Rangers this year winning the World Series and the confidence that does for their rookies. I mean, Evan Carter in this series was absolutely insane. I mean, Evan Carter just in the whole playoffs and honestly in his whole career so far since getting called up towards the end of the year has just been absolutely incredible. Josh Young had an amazing season. He was probably going to be more in the Rookie of the Year race had he not gotten injured. So I'm really excited to see what these rookies can do next year too for this team.
Yeah.
As they lift up the World Series trophy on the stage right now. Yeah. And we will find out the World Series MVP in a few minutes.
Which, if it's not Corey Seager, then I don't really know what to say about that. I think if you're Corey Seager, you trade a World Series MVP for a regular season MVP 100 times out of 100. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So
I don't know about that.
Congratulations to the Texas Rangers. It is amazing.
As Manfred is up, I don't have my volume on my TV on right now. I wonder if they're booing him. I'm very curious.
You want the honest answer? I can mute my microphone and turn it up. Well, it's past that time.
I don't need to know right now. I don't need to know right now.
But
congratulations. Chris Young holds up the trophy.
Yeah, Chris Young, unsung hero of the Rangers. Yes, the last guy over there. That's the GM and president of baseball operations.
Yeah. There he is. Raising the trophy up.
Yeah,
beautiful.
This team deserved it. There's a reason why you spend all this money in the offseason. There's a reason why you make the trades that you do, and this team deserves it. A group of guys who wanted to just play baseball, and they did it. They did the damn thing, and they're the last team standing. Congratulations to the Texas Rangers.
Yeah, congrats to the Rangers. I mean, it was a fun season. We talked about it, absolutely fumbling the AL West, losing it to the Astros in the end of the season, being forced to play in that wild card series was such a tough hit. We said, how are you, the Rangers, being up in the division for so long over good teams and the Astros and even the Mariners when they started to get hot, how do you blow that division lead? And they did, but they still made the postseason and they made the best of what they did. They made really quick work in that wild card series against the Rays, and then they moved on to the division series to play
the Orioles.
Sorry. You know what? I honestly, the reason that didn't immediately come to my mind is because they also made extremely quick work of the Orioles in dominant fashion.
Yeah.
And then obviously the Astros, they only won on the road and beat them in 7. And now, dominated in this World Series in 5 games. Just an amazing story from start to finish for both teams in this World Series because the Diamondbacks. I don't even think a lot of people thought that they would make the playoffs this year. So having them in the World Series is kind of crazy. And I think that they are about to present the MVP to Corey Seager. I assume that's why he's literally standing right in front of the trophy.
I would assume so. Corey Seager's second World Series MVP could not have earned it in a more fashionable way, a more Corey Seager way. Home runs, clutch hits when it mattered, just absolute dominance out of Corey Seager, and there's no question about it that it should be him going to raise the World Series MVP trophy. Excuse me for my stutter.
Yeah, and Bruce Bochy, they're showing him right now. Fourth World Series for Bruce Bochy. Obviously, won 3 with the Giants, and retired and came out of retirement just to manage this team. And I talked about it earlier. That was what felt like one of the biggest changes they made this season from last is getting that veteran manager who has already won in the past. And he obviously did big things. He knows how to manage a team, and that played dividends for them, especially in this World Series. I'm a little surprised they didn't let Leclerc get the last out because he's been so good as their closer for the entire postseason.
Yeah, but I mean, at that point, you gotta trust the guy that you have out there on the mound, and I think that's just the way that Bruce Bochy was feeling in that moment. And guess what?
Yeah.
It turned out to be the right call because the Rangers are your 2023 World Series champions.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible. Congrats to the Rangers. Congrats to Corey Seager. I don't think they even, at least on my TV, they haven't officially announced him as World Series MVP. I'm assuming
yet.
At this point.
I would hope that it is Corey Seager, but
2 World Series MVPs is absolutely insane. Talking more about the Rangers bullpen was crazy. They completely proved all the haters wrong. We mentioned that they blew that division lead. Part of the reason they blew that division lead was because of their bullpen. Their bullpen was just blowing games left and right. And, that's why maybe a lot of people weren't as confident in them going into the postseason. And their bullpen was literally the most lights-out bullpen in the entire playoffs. So they completely flipped the script on everyone and just amazing. And Corey Seager now officially is the World Series MVP for 2023, his second World Series MVP. Congrats to Corey Seager. Guy rakes in the playoffs. He turns into Barry Bonds in the playoffs. It's incredible.
Yeah. He's one of those guys that you don't give him an inch in the playoffs because he'll take a mile very easily. You can't pitch to him, and that was definitely a turning point of this series, especially, in Game 3. You pitch to him, he blows the game open, and guess what? Before you know it, now this series is over, and Corey Seager and the Texas Rangers go on to win the series, which is exactly what they did. And as Corey Seager raises his World Series MVP trophy and gets all the high fives and praise from his fans and teammates alike.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just absolutely incredible. I have no more words besides what we already said. Yep. Seager is the fourth guy ever to win World Series MVP twice. I believe that was the stat. Yes. Only the second guy to do it with 2 different teams.
Yeah.
Which is kind of incredible. The season's over.
Just to throw one more stat out there. Sorry, 3rd team in MLB history to win a World Series, only 2 years removed from losing 100+ games in the Texas Rangers. That's really cool.
Well,
that's really cool.
I wasn't done. We could still go. I just wanted to kind of reflect and just say that the season's over now, and it was a fun season. A lot of ups, a lot of downs, and in the end, 2 teams that no one really expected were in the final dance, and the Rangers took it home. Just an incredible season all around.
Yep, it's bittersweet because yes, you get to watch the best baseball of the season in the World Series, but now we're going to be without it for a few months. Looking forward to seeing what this offseason has in store, not just for MLB, but for us as normal baseball. We're hoping that everyone listening and watching is going to be able to stick around or, check out all the content that we're going to try to pump out this offseason and keep everyone up to date as we possibly can.
Yeah. And I mean, another question for you, we haven't seen a repeat World Series champion in since the 2000 or the 1999 2000 Yankees when they that was the three-peat, I believe, right?
Yes.
So obviously, you know, the Rangers have a lot to think about. They're losing Jordan Montgomery this offseason. They lose, Aroldis Chapman, Travis Jankowski, but they're not really losing any crazy, crazy big arms. And obviously, they could also re-sign these guys.
And they can spend a lot of money in this offseason.
Exactly. So, what are the chances, in your opinion, that they can go back to back and do the same thing next season? And they get the Grom back next season. Yeah, possibly.
Possibly. I think slim to none. Baseball is too amazing and too wonderful to have a repeat champion that's not strictly domination from opening day to the end of the World Series. Yes, the Rangers
I mean,
dominated.
that's bold.
I just don't think it's bold. I'm taking the field over one team. I'm taking 29 other teams to win the World Series rather than the Texas Rangers.
No, but I mean,
the odds are in my favor.
You saying that there's a slim to none chance. I don't know.
Listen, they proved me wrong. The Rangers did. They make that statement sound insane because guess what? I felt like there was a slim chance that they would win the World Series this season, going into the postseason.
Right.
However, baseball is too beautiful of a sport. I already put my prediction out there for next year, and I don't know, man.
My biggest thing is that so my biggest thing is, they weren't really, like you said, they weren't supposed to win this year. They were supposed to win, either next year or the year after or something. I don't know what just happened, by the way.
For anyone only listening, there was just a flurry of balloons that went over Alex's screen.
Absolutely no idea what just happened. I did not touch anything. I looked back at myself in the little corner, and there was just balloons. I have no idea. No idea what just happened, by the way.
Okay.
So, I have no idea. But yeah, what was I even saying? That just completely derailed my train of thought. I don't know why balloons just flew in front of my face.
I don't know either.
Okay. They weren't supposed to win it this year, but they did anyway. And the next year or the year after, they were supposed to be the winners. They were supposed to be real World Series contenders. So I don't know. I wouldn't say there's no chance, but obviously, like you said, I do agree with you in the sense of baseball is a beautiful sport. There's 29 other teams that also want to be winning that World Series, and it's going to be a tough road if they want to do it. But I think it's definitely possible. I'm not going to say that there's no chance.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Honestly, that's all I got. I mean, what a series! What a fun series! Going from looking like Zach Gallen might throw a no-hitter here to the Rangers have this one in the bag. And that's all I got to say.
Yep, definitely. When we revisit this World Series in 5, 10, 15 years and you look at the box score of this Game 5, Nathan Eovaldi's stat line will make no sense. Like, it'll look like a Nathan Eovaldi stat line where maybe he just didn't have his A game. But watching the game live and seeing how difficult it was for him to get through 6 scoreless innings, it was insane. Like, those moments are what the postseason is made for, along with plenty other moments from just this World Series and the entire postseason alone. It's just beautiful. Baseball's amazing, and I'm really hoping that this World Series does not get swept under the rug or pushed to the side in favor of what could have possibly been, because this World Series was really fun to watch and really entertaining.
Yeah, I agree, and that's really all I got on this is the last episode of the season technically. Now starts all the offseason drama of, who's going where, what are teams going to do to improve, what teams will improve and what teams won't. And we thank you guys for sticking with us all season. And we will see you guys next time in the offseason. It'll be very soon. But now it's the offseason officially. Yeah, that's all you got. All you got is a little.
Shout out to everyone who
Any
stuck with
final
us.
words?
Thank you. Your support means a lot. We're hoping to only go up from here. Let's get into the off season and talk about the millions and millions and millions of what ifs to come this off season.
Yes,
I'm looking forward to
we
it.
will. And congratulations once again to the Texas Rangers. You were the better team. And yeah, we thank you guys for watching. And we will see you guys in the next one. The Texas Rangers have won the 2023 World Series. Oh my God. Peace. All right, make